Welcome back to the Healthy Habit Podcast, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode number 223. And I'm your host, Dr. Dayan of Healthy Habit Medical Center. And we're located right inside Healthy Habit Health Foods. And the store is open 7 days a week. And the medical center is open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thanks, guys, for joining us here. And today we're talking with Kyle Schnitger, currently serving as Area Sales Representative and Education Specialist at Better Being Company, formerly known as Nutraceutical, over in Utah. Park City, Utah is the headquarters. His love for science, education, and athletics leads him to Newman University, where he played baseball, studied biology, and secondary education. Kyle, early in his professional career, was a middle and high school science teacher and baseball coach. As a former collegiate athlete, training, nutrition, and competition have always been a huge part of Kyle's life. He's worked as a fitness coach, helping others achieve their goals while training as an armature triathlete and CrossFit athlete as well. So we're going to be covering gut health and digestion here over the next 25 minutes or so. And you folks might remember Nikita Austin, who's also come on the podcast here representing Better Being Company. And she's worked closely with Kyle and their whole team there, Lydia and everybody there at Better Being. Kyle, thanks for joining us here. First time on the podcast.
Really excited. Thanks for having me. It's a cool opportunity, and I'm looking forward to, maybe coming back. So we'll see how I do
Likewise.
this.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, we'll set that up for sure.
Right.
So, again, thanks for joining us here and give a little background of how you ended up uh, getting in contact with Better Being and working for this great company. I remember I went to Park City for the tour of the whole manufacturing facility there a couple years back. It just blew my mind, all the things going on there at Better Being. So, what led you to this point?
Well, as my background said, my original movement into science was to be a teacher, to educate kids, to work with young athletes as well in the fitness realm as well as a baseball coach. So my educational background is in education mainly, but mostly in human biology and chemistry as well from my education days. My wife decided that she wanted to continue her education and get a doctorate in chiropractic.
Okay.
That took us to Georgia for about 5 years. And I always say that I kind of got to go to chiropractic school with her. So I was always the guinea pig. I was the person that they were trying all the tests out on and doing adjustments. Her dad was a chiropractor. So that natural style of living has always been something that she introduced me to from our time in college, working on our diets, working on fitness programs, thinking about what's a better natural approach to like help us with ailments, whether it's
Right.
an injury or we were getting sick. So that was something that really kind of hit us at the right time. There was nutritional seminars that I was able to go to. I loved doing that and continuing my education there. When we moved back from Georgia, I actually was looking for teaching jobs in Colorado, where we currently live. It was a difficult time because it was during the kind of the recession. It kind of
Oh,
hit
yeah.
Colorado a year later. I ended up teaching in a youth correctional facility for about 7 years. So prison for young kids,
Wow.
teaching science there. And honestly, I was looking for a way out. I thought owning a gym was going to be the way to do that. That was something that just didn't quite pan out the way. It was a pretty saturated market here in Colorado. And I kind of turned to natural foods and got a sales job working for a small beverage company, startup company that was run by former Navy SEAL operators that was designed to benefit their Navy SEAL Foundation. And my dad being in the military and being a military kid, I could probably list off as many places that I've lived as Nikita and the same amount of schools that I've attended as well.
Right.
But so I was passionate about that. I found out that sales was really education. The more you treated it like an educational opportunity to talk to the consumer about what they were looking for, talk to owners of businesses and try to work with them in a comprehensive manner. That was really great. Um, After that company kind of lost a little bit of funding. I ended up selling alcohol for a little while, which was not really the realm that I wanted to be in.
Appreciate the
And I was
honesty.
looking for
Yeah.
something different. Better Being popped up. I applied. They contacted me a couple weeks later, and the rest is really history from there.
Amazing.
So
Wow.
I'm really happy to be surrounded by like-minded people in this wellness space because it's something I'm very passionate about on a daily basis with my family, with my kids, with the athletes that I work with, in my other jobs and my other endeavors. But it just feels good working, like you said, for a company that's got so much to offer, but in my opinion, really does things the right way. From an efficacy standpoint, raw materials, production, transparency, I think it's just a really great place for me to be. And I've been excited about every day that I've been able to work for them for the last couple of years here. So, and
What a
now I get to
background.
do some more education stuff, which is fun.
Yes.
So,
All that prepared you for this moment. That's incredible. What a
right here, right
background.
now. So we're going to test it
Interesting
all
back.
out and see how I do.
Interesting background there, Kyle. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Incredible. So we're happy to have you here and join the team at Better Being. Uh, for customers that are listening to this, you might have heard of companies like Solaray, Zhou or ZHOU, as well as Cal. We've given a lot of different Cal magnesiums. That's all under that umbrella of Better Being companies. So, and today we're going to be highlighting the gut health and digestion very specifically. Healthy digestion. Why is this so important, my friend?
Oh yeah. The biggest thing when I think about gut health is balance,
Yeah,
and how are we able to maintain that universe within our body that really kind of handles how every little functionality from a cellular level to, broader macronutrient levels allows our bodies to stay in that balanced homeostatic position that we really are always striving for, from the standpoint of hydration, making sure that we're getting the right amounts of healthy proteins, fats, carbohydrates, things like that, just from a basic nutrition standpoint.
right,
But as I've explored my kind of journey into nutrition and trying to achieve specific goals, whether it's just health or bringing somebody back to a healthy state, which I've had experience with it, or achieving optimal states of performance, it all really comes down to how your body is able to utilize what it is that we put in as
right,
fuel sources, when it comes to states of recovery, being able to build muscle, healthy muscle growth, um, reduce fat, increase energy. All that stuff can really be, if you want to think of it in a way, like powered by your gut. And we've got a
right.
lot of stuff that we do that really allows you to kind of get into the nuts and bolts and like really get into the weeds with what digestion is all about and how our body utilizes things that we put into it. So,
Right, you can be on quote unquote the best diet or take the greatest supplements, but if your digestion's not on par, if it's
mhm.
not strong enough, you won't even be able to benefit from all that, correct?
Absolutely.
So,
And
yeah,
it's how we get it broken down into usable parts, right? And giving our body kind of the instruction manual to build all the necessary things that we need from the food that it is that we eat. And of course, sourcing of food for us sometimes is very difficult. Not everybody has access to really great, clean, organic food. We don't always have the opportunity to grow it in your backyard.
right,
But that's why we have places like Healthy Habits and a lot of the wellness stores that I work with that provide those types of situations for people to get really good quality food. But also, even that, you're going to have to supplement it with something. And then obviously, everybody's gut health is a little bit different. People respond to different things in certain
oh
ways.
yeah,
We need to be able to help them with that.
absolutely. Have you been down here yet to Phoenix to the store and clinic here?
I have not had a chance to go there.
Uh
Every
huh.
time I'm in Phoenix, I feel like I'm on a business trip because it's with my son. My son plays high level baseball.
Oh, really?
So every time I'm there, we're running around like crazy. Um, but the last time he was in Arizona, unfortunately, he contracted that norovirus.
Oh,
So I was a little far away, but I got him on our complete, like our ultimate complete probiotic
oh,
right
good.
away, to kind of help him with that. Once we identified that's what it was, we thought it was food poisoning potentially, but it manifested in a really weird way. And
Right.
unfortunately, his last Arizona trip was not super fun. But that's every time I'm in Arizona, I always feel like I'm on a business trip. So
There's
I'm
always a
gonna
lot
have to,
going on.
yeah, I'm gonna have to take a fun trip to come and see
There
you
you
guys.
go. We'd love to meet you in person, my friend. Maybe we'll
That'd
even
be
do
great.
a live show maybe one day in the future.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
starting things off with the bean enzyme, alpha galactosidase. Try saying that 10 times real quick. Alpha galactosidase, specific enzyme focused on digestion of a certain food group, as the name suggests, bean enzyme, the legume family. And I'll do a screen share here. It's our first time actually that we're going to be breaking down alpha galactosidase from the Solaray perspective in the Better Being team. So, why did you choose to highlight this product? Tell us about it. It's actually one of their newest products here in the Solaray line. So you can start us off there while I do a screen share here on alpha galactosidase.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons for it is when we look at if you look at the bottle right off the jump, it says supports occasional bloating.
Right.
I think we're seeing a lot of this just in the general population that people are dealing with excess gas, excess bloating, and what that comes from is our inability to actively break down specific macronutrients to the point where our body can use it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of sitting there, not really getting broken down in the way that it should be. And then as a byproduct, we're creating a lot of these excess gas, which creates that bloating of the stomach, and a lot of discomfort for a lot of people. And especially if you enjoy certain types of foods, like you said, the legume family,
Yeah.
and you don't necessarily want to give up the opportunity to enjoy foods that you really do enjoy, knowing that it is going to kind of give you a little bit of some side effects that may give you some discomfort. So, with the bean enzyme, it's really designed to break down like complex carbohydrates.
Uh-huh.
So, oligosaccharides into more, which would be like 3 to 10 monosaccharides that we're trying to break down into those smaller usable units so that they can be distributed where they need to go. Because if they're just sitting there in a clump, they're going to continuously try to be broken down, which is going to create a lot more of those that gaseous buildup within the gastrointestinal tract, which is going to cause a little bit more bloating, discomfort, gas in the evenings or after a meal.
Right.
Whereas the bean enzyme is designed to accurately take these complex carbs, break them down, so that we can easily digest them and so that they can become the necessary fuel sources within our gut for, say, your prebiotics or something that your probiotics can use in a proper manner to maintain that healthy homeostatic gut biome that we're looking for.
Great breakdown, absolutely. And so this isn't necessarily only for someone that's eating beans, legumes. It's just an enzyme that's found in beans typically. Very
Correct.
popular digestive enzyme. For all the research nerds out there, you can just go down a rabbit hole here. If you just type in alpha galactosidase and add the word scholar on Google, you can just see all these different peer-reviewed articles on this enzyme. And as Kyle was mentioning there, breaking down oligosaccharides, giving assistance in digestion overall, specifically with gas and bloating. It could potentially help here. Again, it doesn't have to be only before you eat beans, right, Kyle?
No, no, it's definitely something that's just designed for taking those complex carbohydrates and breaking them down.
Yeah,
A lot of tendency, I think the common thought process is, okay, I'm going to have something that's heavy in legumes and whatnot, and I'm going to need a specific enzyme to break down beans when it comes to that.
right.
Whereas we're looking at the carbohydrate structure and making sure that we're getting it into a more manageable state that allows the body to do what it needs to do.
Yeah,
Body's intuitive in everything that it does. I love that we can, if we give it the right products, if we give it the right ingredients and the right tools, it'll do what it needs to do, for the most part. Obviously, there's differences and extensions to that where people might be deficient in certain things or their body doesn't
right.
function the way. But if we do the right things and we provide the body with stuff, it's a pretty amazing apparatus, man. It does a lot of cool stuff.
Again, gas, bloating, just feeling that fullness sensation, even if you barely ate or even if you just drank some water.
Mhm.
You might be a candidate here for the bean enzyme alpha galactosidase by
Absolutely.
Solaray. As it says here on the front, like Kyle was mentioning, it supports occasional bloating. This is a non-soy product. It's vegan. It's lab verified, gluten free, and so they did a good job formulating this. It's very straight to the point. The
Mhm.
formula inside, you can see it's just alpha galactosidase, and that's it. 20 milligrams per capsule, and they're
Yep.
suggesting taking one immediately before eating, one per day. But there's no medical advice. This is just a general guideline, right, Kyle?
Yeah, I say before or after. There's a lot of times where sometimes People get a better response. I'm a real big advocate of N equals one, being your own science experiment.
Uh-huh.
Keeping a little bit of a journal if you're really trying, if you have some acute symptoms or certain things that you're trying to combat when it
Yeah.
comes to a supplement or a vitamin, I would say try different doses. Like Nikita was alluding to with magnesium, sometimes we can take a couple different pairs of them, combine them together. Maybe to just keep a little journal. How did I feel with this dosage? How did I feel before? So with this one, taking it before a meal, if you know that this is something that tends to produce a little bit more of a gaseous response to you or some discomfort in your digestion, this might be something you take prior to if you know what you're going to be eating or consuming. If it's something where you're out and about, I didn't really think I was going to have that option, was the only option available to
Yeah.
me. And post is always going to be a good way to go with that. Some are very descriptive to post, and they seem to work a little bit better that way. I tend to take anything when it comes to this beforehand. So
Right. And this is
it
good
just seems to
because
work better for me.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this is specifically for gas bloating. Remember, when we're talking about digestive health or people with digestive issues, it might be gas bloating that they're having troubles with. It might be unintentional weight loss. It might just be pain whenever they eat. There's different types of issues under that umbrella of digestive distress and gut health problems. So that one specifically is targeted for more gas bloating. And then right now we're pivoting the papaya enzyme, which is a chewable form, also through Solaray. And this one on the front, instead of occasional gas and bloating, this one says powerful digestive support, the perfect after meal supplement. And I'll do another screen share here as well. This is a chewable product. Tell us about papaya enzyme. Why is this different from alpha galactosidase?
So this one's a little bit more direct in what it's trying to break down. So,
Okay.
and it's a little bit more broad spectrum when it comes to digestion because it actually is going to have a couple of different enzymes in there. When we look at the back label, we can talk about a couple of those. It does have papain. This is like the primary enzyme in papaya, and this is really used to break down proteins. So
Uh-huh.
different enzymes are going to break down different types of macronutrients that we're going to get from our food. The papaya enzyme is going to really help with that protein breakdown. And a lot of times, especially if we're eating an extremely high protein diet, like say
Yeah.
you're trying for muscle mass gain or you're getting on that carnivore diet or you're doing something trendy that's really different than what your normal diet would be, you might need a little extra help from an enzymatic process to get all of those proteins broken
Got
down
it.
into usable form. So this one has it has one that's very specific for the protein breakdown, and it also has protease in there as well. Then we have amylase, which is going to be great for carbohydrates, and then it also has bromelain, which is going to be really good for proteins and fats on top of that. So compared to what we were looking at in the bean enzyme, where that was more
Yeah.
geared towards gas
Right.
production. Papaya is going to be more of that broad spectrum. I want to get my fats broken down, my proteins and my carbohydrates all into a usable form so that we can get that transported around the body for usable functionality.
Interesting. Yeah, and you can see you have actually five enzymes. Well, the
Mhm.
papain, technically three, I guess, but there's more ingredients. The other one, the bean enzyme, was just alpha galactosidase.
Right.
This has five total
Mhm.
constituents in the product here.
Yep.
Chewable, designed for after meal. So this is more just in general after you ate to help now that get digested properly and assimilated, right?
Yes, so
Gotcha.
designed specifically for after consumption of a meal. We added in the chewable just because super easy from a transportation standpoint. You can keep it in a purse. You can kind of have it in a backpack. You could probably store it if it doesn't get too hot, in your car. If you're traveling around like I do on a daily basis, a lot of times I'm packing my food. I've got a cooler. I've got a little crock pot that lunchbox that kind of heats everything up if I want
Right.
to have like a warmer meal. This is a great thing to keep kind of in the top portion of that. And then it's got a really great flavor to it, and it does help with kind of like after meal, just a little breath freshener as well. My boss, Diane, this is something that she consistently carries around with her when we're out in the field and traveling around. So she's
Okay.
always offering them up. She's like, anybody need one? Anybody? I was like, I
Uh-huh.
got mine in the car. So it's definitely It's convenient. It's super easy. It tastes good. It's very functional. It does a really good job. This is something that my wife will ask me if we're out and about. She's like, "You got any of those on you?" And
Yeah.
I'll definitely give it to her. She's always had, not always, since kids, she had to have her gallbladder removed. And
Uh-huh.
a lot of people are like, "Oh, you don't need it. It's not that big a deal." From it's easier for us to take it out than for us to get all the
Right.
stones, solve them, from a medical standpoint.
Sure.
But I tell you, when it comes to her enjoyment of food, she has had to step back from certain things that she really does enjoy. And this has actually kind of been a pet project for us to find ways to balance out her digestive process, knowing that she is lacking in some certain production when it comes to the gallbladder, things that are going to help with digestion, to
Right.
kind of get her into a base where she can enjoy some of the things that she used to really like, and maybe not have the discomfort or the irritable bowel digestive stuff that she's going to run into not having that. I'm sure she loved that I shared that with the entire
Oh
world,
yeah.
but
Well,
but
it's related.
it's an n equals one thing. It's the experimentation of what allows me to live the most comfortable life when it comes to digestion. You can't just stop eating.
Yep.
You have to consume calories. You have to have the right balance in order for your body to function. And I think I come from the kind of the side of this where I might as well enjoy it. And I want to
Yeah.
enjoy the process. I want to enjoy cooking. I want to enjoy making food for people. And I want it to be something they can enjoy, even if they've got a little bit of imbalances within some digestion, and there's ways to help. So it's always a fun experiment for me to find out how I can help people with that journey.
Thank you for that, Kyle. No, that makes a lot of sense. And then the suggested directions here: one
Yeah,
chewable tablet after each meal. That's not a law. It's just suggested. Work with your doctor to find the exact way that he
absolutely.
or she would like you to take it. But this is just educational purposes. And this should be triggering some people to think, wait a minute, that means papaya naturally has a lot of good enzymes. And absolutely, papaya
Absolutely.
and pineapple are phenomenal fruits to try to include also in the diet on top of taking something like this to get the bromelain, to get the papain naturally as well in food version. Plus you layer this on top, and we
Yeah.
might be in a much better situation there when it comes to gut health. So again, that's the papaya enzyme chewables by Solaray, and we previously covered the bean enzyme, the alpha galactosidase, specifically for bloating and gas, if that's something that you're dealing with a lot of. So, and if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Kyle Schnitger here, episode 223 of the Healthy Habit Podcast, coming in towards the tail end. Before we went on, I told Kyle we might be able to highlight 2 or 3 products with the time that's given. So maybe you can
Yeah.
introduce this next one here, the Betaine HCl, or the hydrochloric acid, with Pepsin in there, and that'll round out 3 gut specific healthy digestion products. Introduce us to the Betaine HCl with Pepsin. We'll see if we can finish that with the time we have.
All right. I'll try to not to be as long-winded. Sorry, I get
No
excited.
rush. No, no, it's perfect.
Um, So HCl is hydrochloric acid.
Yeah.
Um, that's going to be the gastric juices that we're going to see that are going to help with digestion within the stomach, that we use for the breakdown of a lot of this stuff, proteins, large molecules in that like mass digestive process that we have in there. Um, as we get older, there's a lot of things that we don't produce as well or as much of. And
Okay.
what we've found, studies have shown that as we age, the production of HCl within that digestive tract, within that proper location where we need to have it, goes down.
Yeah.
So this can cause a lot of indigestion, heartburn, things like that, because there's not enough stomach acid in there to consume how much food we're actually putting into our digestive system to be broken down so
Yeah.
that it can work itself into the small intestine, large intestine for absorption. Um, when it comes to digestive health, the biggest thing is we're trying to take large scale products and break them down so that they can be absorbed the best way that they possibly can, so that we can get all these micronutrients, these molecules, these amino acids, and get all this stuff where it needs to go so that it can perform its job. So we've
Right.
taken this, and this will naturally produce the production of hydrochloric acid within the stomach. And then it also is going to be paired with pepsin,
Yeah.
which is an enzyme that helps break down proteins as well. And it helps break down some of those healthy fats that we're looking at. So when we take these two and combine them together, we're revitalizing that internal stomach juice that allows for that breakdown to happen very efficiently so
Mm.
that we can get things where they need to go. So that everything can be utilized within the body. It's pretty cool. The other thing that is normally we have to get some of these ingredients are bovine or porcine, excuse me, from pork.
Uh-huh.
We've actually been able to do a vegan process on this that allows it to be vegan certified and gluten free for people.
Interesting.
So really nice that you don't have to worry about some of your ethical standpoints on some of these things to be able to help with some of those processes,
Wow.
which is pretty interesting. And like you said, it's simple. It's a really great way to get it. It's one veggie cap. This is another one that my wife and I are kind of experimenting with to see
Uh-huh.
how this goes with her. So
Yeah. From a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, this would basically be increasing that fire, the stomach fire, they call it in
absolutely.
TCM and in the Eastern medical type of world. So basically, strengthening the stomach acid, right? As we age, people's stomach, this has been proven in multiple studies, as people age, the stomach acid gets weaker. The pH is supposed to be really low in the stomach acid, around 1 or 2. And then as we age, it gets more alkaline, which
Mhm.
is good because now you hear about this whole alkaline movement, right? The alkaline diet, which is great,
The
but
waters.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
stomach acid needs to be acidic, right,
Mhm.
Kyle? So this is
Yes,
where
absolutely.
a product like this strengthens that stomach fire, that stomach acid, which is literally the first point of contact when food's coming down that esophagus. Boom, it hits the stomach acid that needs to be optimized and low pH and strong, right, to start really breaking down the food. Whereas then on the back end, that's where enzymes can really help after it's made it through the stomach. So all three products we've highlighted today, they're serving a different purpose when it comes to healthy digestion. And always work with your doctor. They may want you to combine this with the bean enzyme, or they might want you to do all three strategically, depending on
Yes.
what meals being digested. We're just trying to present these products to you as options that are out there through Solaray to help you in your gut health journey. And again, this is the Betaine HCl with Pepsin, 650 milligrams per capsule, high potency product from Solaray to cover overall digestive health, stomach acid strength. And that pretty much takes us to the end of our segment. I feel like we were just getting warmed up here, Kyle.
I know.
What do you want to leave our listeners with? We got to get you on again, my friend. We'll set that up with Lydia and the team there on
Oh,
the
that'd be
back
great.
end. But what's a good take home here in 30 seconds? I know it's not a much time, but just give us a little recap, what you want people to know about before we end it off.
I think understanding that food can still be fun, but also you can understand how it needs to be broken down, and
Yeah.
that there are plenty of options out there to help allow you to have enjoyable digestion experiences within your life. There's plenty of products that can help, and there's plenty of affordable ways to help you get over any kind of issues, pain, or discomfort that you might have from a digestion standpoint to allow you to live life to your fullest when it comes to this
Yeah.
stuff. I hate seeing people that have to say, I can't have that. There might be a way that you can still enjoy things that you love.
Awesome, Kyle. I appreciate you coming on. First time on the podcast. You were built for this, my friend.
I don't
Thank
know
you for
about
doing it. You did
that.
great. And this is going to help a lot of people. Thanks
All
for your
right.
time, my friend. I'll be sharing the links to people in
Okay.
the description box below the video, solaray.com, the Better Being contact there. And we look forward to talking to you in the near future, I'm hoping.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would love it. Thank you very much for giving me the platform and the time, and you have a great day.